Today I'm going to be discussing the fundamental key, which is a key to entering heaven. And the key to entering heaven becomes oftentimes when we feel we have nothing left to give, which leaves you with one last thing. One last thing as a man or as a woman. And that one last thing is the one thing that you can still cling on into this life. For a woman, the key to her entering heaven is the moment she decides to make the world as she sees it. But without man, she creates her own hell. The key for a man to enter heaven is one man has but one fear, and that is the fear of losing her. And now you're faced with the very final decision of your life, the big question: am I ready? That is the true meaning behind marriage, which is why marriage was truly sacred in the ancient times. Because when a marriage is sacred, it is based around the fact that both of these people are choosing to enter heaven as a pair. When they've left everything behind, that one other was the only thing they had left. And they made that beautiful moment. And in that beautiful moment is when they vowed to each other, I will be there with you when you enter heaven. What is the idea of inviting Jesus in your marriage? It is often widely spoke about, but the idea of inviting Jesus into your marriage is specifically for that particular reason. We as men, we do not understand women. Let's put it very simply. But to a certain degree, a man can understand that different fantasies require different partners. And oftentimes the partner you end up with is about which fantasy you see yourself living. And if you wish to enter heaven, you have to live your dream. And if that means you have to leave behind the hell and the demons that which have consumed you, where you now are left with nothing but one decision as a woman. Do you choose to enter heaven with this man, or do you choose to continue down this downward spiral? And now when we face the man, which man, in order to be a man, you must have very minimal fear. It is what allows a man to be a man. Because without fear, a man can conquer forth, he can hunt, he can provide, he can sacrifice himself to provide. Because at the end of the day, every little thing you do has a cost on your soul. And when man has one last fear, the last fear he'll ever have, of losing her, when a man can leave that fear behind, he can enter heaven with her. When both of the partners choose to make these vows to one another, You're both inviting Christ into your consciousness and in your lives as people. Which the idea behind marriage is not just a vow to you and your partner, but also a vow to you and your children, which you will ideally stay together until the end of time, so that they may grow and their children can grow until you pass on and come back in your next lineage, wherever down the line it may be. But that is the idea of entering heaven. To watch the generations pass and see when you need to come back in order to change things around.